Hi guys, welcome to a workshop of OpenLM. Now we'll be going over the reporting of OpenLM because many users, they pick up OpenLM, they go over a few reports, even the main reports that I'm about to show you, but not always know how to combine the reports, how to get statistical insights from them, and we'll also see how OpenLM can advance its reports beyond the basic reports of OpenLM. So we'll be taking a look at the license usage report, the licenses not in use report if you get to it. We'll see the denials report, and we'll see utilization report. Lastly, we will see the reporting hub extension, just to show where the reports of OpenLM can go. So just a quick recap. The system of OpenLM, you'll need the OpenLM broker installed on the license server itself. That will monitor all the license managers you have there and transmit information to the OpenLM server. Now, the OpenLM server you can access using any device, using any browser, and just view all the reporting information. Now, you might have many different license servers with brokers on them, and all of them send information to one central OpenLM server. So let's dive right into the information, into the data. Now, this will show you how to actually use OpenLM and get the insights you need. We'll take a look at the health of a license and try to define what is a healthy license and what is a not healthy license. We'll see an overused and an underused license. Now, first of all, license usage report. If you have OpenLM in front of you, then I would suggest to open up the interface, go to Start, Reports, License Usage. Then you'll be able to filter out well, let's take a look at one feature that you care about. So try to select that, select the feature you want, and just click Apply. And take a look at the health, try to compare with what I am talking about. So this license usage report shows us that pretty much, like if we take a look at the behavior of it, we see that around weekends the usage goes down, but around the working hours, the weekends we see it's pretty down. Working hours we see that it's pretty much up. We see that we even maxed out the license right here, but it still doesn't tell us anything because we need to consider the working hours. So we click here, consider working hours, and now we'll be able to see only working hours. So this shows that the license usage, the health of it, is pretty good. Why do I say that? Why do I say that it's pretty good utilization? Well, it's not maxing out all the time, just here and there. Mostly it's well, maybe 5 licenses away from being maxed out. It's not mostly maxed out. If a user tries to get a license, he gets a license, but maybe they're spending too much money on it. So let's try and unravel this and understand the data itself. Okay, so we see this report, but what happened like right here and here? Now, did we get like 1,000 denials here, meaning that we have a problem, a specific problem here and there, or maybe we did not? So going now over to the denials report, punching in the same server, same feature, and same time, and we choose to show it by the hours. Now, to get to the denials report, you click Start, Reports, Denials, And now we see that, oh, it maxed out right here, but it did not max out for long, as if we aggregate it by the hour, we see that it was like only 7 denials that hour. And then many days passed, almost a month, almost 2 weeks, sorry, and we had 1 denial more, like here we had another denial. So that constitutes a healthy license, a license that doesn't need more licenses, because we see, well, for all that time we don't have a lot of denials. The utilization seems okay. It's not far from maxing out, but it's not close. So we can open up the license utilization report if we click on Start, Management, License Utilization. Now, again, choose the server you want to show. Choose the feature that you're interested in. Choose the same time span. And you can even consider working hours if it's not a server that follows the sun. So we'll have license usage, license denials, and license utilization all ready for us to take a look at. So if you can, do it yourself as well. So this report, the utilization report, it shows us how much time was spent on each concurrent usage level. Now bear with me. We did say we are going to get into the details, into the data itself. So this report gives us a lot of information, both when aggregated and when not aggregated. So this healthy license, this pretty good license, how well are we utilizing it? So first of all, we can show it unaggregated to know the amount of time in percentages, the amount of time that each concurrent license level was spent on, meaning that 28 licenses used together, only 28, was like 1% of the time. But like 55 licenses pulled together was a bit more, was like 5% of the times. Now, how come? How come that it's spending more time on 55 licenses as opposed to 34 licenses? Well, let's go take a look at the report. It gets to 55 licenses and more during this time. Now, if we ignore weekends and ignore working hours and take only working hours, we see that it's mostly on the 55 line. On this part, like let's say 44 up to 60, we see that it's correct. It's like 44 up to like 60. That's mostly how the usage is behaving. So that's correct. We see that it's reflected here. So 4%, almost 5% of the time was 55 licenses used together. Now this shows a pretty healthy license curve. Why do I say that? Because it's spread across near the end, not surpassing the end. I will get to a low and a high ball examples in a moment, so you'll see the difference. But what is this line? What does this line tell us? What does it do? This line is a quality of service line. It allows us to set a certain quality of service, meaning how many times in percentages will our users get the license. So 90 means 90% of the times they'll get the license. 10% of the times they'll get denied, statistically. So if I'm okay with that, with 90%, so I punch in 90 here, and it shows me that I need 62 licenses. Now, 62 licenses, it's not far from what I have. I have 70 licenses here. And what is it basing it on? On how long was it actually used and how much? Meaning that, well, let's take an example. Let's say you have a session, you have a feature that was never, ever, ever used, then it was used fully for 2 seconds. So does that mean the utilization, the maximum utilization was full? So does that mean that you're maxing out your licenses? No, it happened one time for 2 seconds. So do you need more licenses? No, it was a very small percentage of the time. So here it shows you the percentage of the time. So if we need 62 licenses, that means that in order to get to that quality of service, 62 licenses will be sufficient. I have 70, I don't need all of them, because it's taking into account the amount of time spent on each concurrent usage level. Okay, now what is this aggregated form? Why am I showing it unaggregated and aggregated? So aggregated pretty much can show us the overall health of the license. Now this aggregation, that means, well, if you want to pull 2 licenses together, then you must first pull 1 license, meaning that the statistics of 1 license is hidden inside the statistics of 2 licenses, and so on, and 3 licenses, and 4 licenses, and so on. This is why it will always go down like this. Okay, so what are we going to do now? Now we understood how a healthy license is supposed to look like. Not maxing out a whole lot, not very far from maxing out. Denials themselves also show us how many licenses were actually not taken, how many got denied. And the utilization shows us how much time it was spent on each concurrent usage level. But this is a healthy license, meaning that it's kind of close to the end here. You see not a lot of denials, and you see that it's pretty close to the license quantity line right here. But okay, let's take a bad situation. Let's say that I'm barely using the license. Let's say that I have 70 licenses, but not a lot of usage within it. So let's go to the license usage. You see how it changed. We'll also take the denials for that time as well. And lastly, we'll go and do the same for the license utilization. So all of them, they look at the same feature under the same server at the same time span, of course. Now, this is not a healthy license. This is an underused license. If we take a look at the license usage, we have 70 licenses, but it really peaks at 16. It really doesn't go over 16 ever. And if we take a look at the denials, of course, no denials. It never got over that line. That means that we're not using the license well. So how many licenses do we need? Right off the bat, I can tell you that, taking a look at the license utilization report, right off the bat, I can tell you that you need 16 licenses. You don't need more. Right off the bat, it never went over 16. So like 16 is like the maximum that you can get. But you probably want 95% on it, so you'll only need 11 licenses. Now let's check out the utilization of it, unaggregated. So if you remember, most of the aggregated usage, most of the unaggregated usage was spread across, well, near the amount of licenses that I have. Here, it's spread across, well, on the left here, near the 1, 2, and 4 licenses. Actually, 4 was the most used, meaning that 4 licenses pulled together was 17% of the time. So that's pretty clear. We can easily see that this license is underused. It's not it's not used well at all. It's really low. You can, well, next time buy like, I don't know, 16 licenses, get this over with. You don't need so many licenses. Okay, this is pretty easy. But well, let's take the other, let's look at it from another angle. Let's say we're taking the high watermark. Now we're taking a look at a feature that has a lot of usage. It has too much usage for its own sake. One moment, let me show you. So here we can see that I have 34 licenses of this feature, and we see that it's maxing out a lot. And if we ignore weekends and consider only working hours, we see that it's actually maxing out for a few hours right here each day. So that is not a very good behavior. You see that it's being maxed out constantly. Each working day, it gets up to the working amount, to the license quantity, and then let's see what happens then. Many denials, a whole lot of denials. Like every day there are, I don't know, maybe 30 denials, something like that, and it even rises and rises and rises. And you see that this license has a problem. This license is problematic. Mostly it's being maxed out. It's chock full of denials. And the utilization of it, let's take a look at the utilization of it, the high utilization. It shows us, first of all, that we can't reach quality of service of 95%. So what can we reach? Can we reach 70%? Yeah, we can reach 70%, but it's 31 licenses. The 34 licenses, that's like 80% utilization, quality of service, sorry. That means that I'm not using my licenses well. This license is not used according to what you want your users to experience. Your users are now getting mostly denied. And how do we see that? This graph is also slanted to the right, slanted to the top values. But you see that it doesn't flat out. It doesn't go to zero around the end here. It just keeps going. If it keeps going up, even after the graph is done, then you know that you have a problem because it's maxing out more than hours. Like it's maxing out to the point that users are really pissed at the system. They can't get the license. The licenses are mostly not available during the day. So besides that, okay, so how many licenses do I need from here? Okay, I want 95% quality of service. I want to increase the amount of licenses. This report showed me that I can decrease the amount of licenses. Well, great, good. But how can I increase the amount of licenses? I want to see that as well. Okay, I have a lot of denials here, but the 62 denials here, does that mean that one user had 62 denials, meaning that he tried to get the license 62 times? Or maybe it was 62 users that tried to get a license. The difference is major. In one, you'll need one license, and in the other example, you need 62 licenses because it's like 62 different users. So in order to understand that, you can use the Reporting Hub extension, which allows you to aggregate pretty much everything. I'm not going to go into that. I just want to use this visual just to show you. So with this, you'll be able to take the denials and see that, okay, I had 30 denials, but it was only 4 users that got denied. So I'll be able to set a certain threshold that tells me that if I want to cover 80% of my denials, how many licenses more do I need? So you'll need 3 more licenses in order to cover 80% of your denials. So this is basically the way to process information, to process the license usage information in OpenLM. Basically, it's combining these 3 reports: the license usage, license denials, and license utilization. You can also combine it with licenses not in use report, which gives you all the licenses and how many licenses were not actually used. So, for example, you can run this query on a certain server, let's say all of server 18. And then you can see that there are a few that, oh, this has 15 licenses that were not used. This has 70 licenses that were not used. So you can go back to the license utilization and check them out and see exactly, get a better understanding, a drilled down understanding of what's going on there. And regarding the reports, that's just about it. I really don't want to overload you with information. This is enough for you to start working with. Try to combine the license usage denials and license utilization together with features that you're interested in, like features that cost a lot of money, that have different policies, whatever you choose. It's always better to combine them to get a better insight, and the reporting hub if you want to get even more advanced insight and KPIs on your data. Now, OpenLM is also offering health checks. You got an OpenLM system, but let's say something is not working, or maybe you got something that you want to know, some extension you want to activate, or maybe you just want OpenLM to take a look at your system and give you a form signed that tells you and your managers that your system is indeed valid, that the information that you're getting is valid, that the system that you're using is a valid OpenLM system. This is something that you can also show the vendors themselves so they know that the system was taken care of and it was checked. So if you're interested in a health check, which means that we do a remote session, we go live with you, our support engineers go live with you, set up everything that needs to be set up on the system, configure everything that's misconfigured, or any extensions that are missing and you need and you paid for can be enabled. That just send us an email to support@openlm.com, or you can just call us up using the chat. If you go to the OpenLM website, there is a chat button on the bottom right, this one. There you can click it and just call us up using the chat. It rings all across all our offices all around the world. You'll get an answer. And that's it. Now I would like to hear from you. So I have a few questions here. Feel free to ask away. You can use the GoToWebinar chat box, the questions box. I'll be happy to answer anything, any issue that you have. I see there are a few already here, so let's go over them. Give me one moment. Okay, I have Eric asking about how to reduce 80% of denials again. Okay, so this goes into depth with our dedicated webinar on the reporting hub and on the reports themselves. Now, if you'd like, we can also schedule a session, a one-on-one session for you to see exactly what the reporting hub gives you. But basically, if we enlarge this, let's take a look at it. It shows us the amount of denied users and the amount of denials. So the amount of denials doesn't represent the amount of licenses you need, but the amount of different users that got denied that day does. So the BI itself has an option to have a percentile line. Oh, it's 50%, not 80, my mistake. To get a percentile line that shows you how many licenses you'll need to buy in order to cover those statistical denials. Now, this is, well, you see 4, you see 8, it's really small numbers. But if you aggregate, let's say, a full year's worth of denials, then you can get a pretty accurate representation of what's going on. Because if every day you had one denial, every day, all day, then you need one more license. So this gives you an indication of what you need, that you need to buy more in order to get to a reasonable denial amount. Okay, have Thomas here asking. Okay, Thomas is asking on specific configurations of the reports. So indeed, let's say that you have let's go to the license user report, for example. You have a filter that you created, and you do this every day, and you don't want to do that anymore. You just want it to be automatically generated. So simply select everything, all the filter. Click here on the filter icon, name the new filter, let's call it test, I don't know, test for example, test, let's call it, and click save. Now, okay, you want to pull that up again, you click filter manager, you expand this, and you select, well, test, apply, then apply again, and that's it, you got that saved. Now, okay, let's take it one step further. Okay, I saved it. I can pull it up whenever I want. Okay, great. I want this to pull up as soon as I log into the system. So click in here on the OpenLM icon, and this is on any report in OpenLM. Clicking here on the OpenLM icon and properties, then you'll be able to open at application startup. And you'll be able to select the filter that you want it to start up with. So my filter, it starts up with demo 1 year. So you can get to a situation where you simply reload the page and all the different reports that you need will automatically open. One more thing that you can do is schedule the reports. Let's say that, okay, you don't even want to select the filter. You don't even want to go into the system. Then you simply schedule the reports and get it by email and forget about OpenLM, and that's it. You get what you need, or your manager gets what he needs, and that's it. You don't have to think about it anymore. So you can then take any of these routes. These exist in all the reports of OpenLM. Okay, I have Amit here asking, can I configure OpenLM with Oracle database? No, we do not support Oracle database. We support a SQL Server, MySQL, and of course the Firebird embedded database. The embedded database comes with OpenLM itself. You can connect to external SQL Server and MySQL. I have Daniel asking about the reporting hub. Asking about what about including servers, license managers, reporting in Reporting Hub. Daniel, can you please elaborate? Just write what you mean. Oh, Daniel is asking if the Reporting Hub is able to show the license availability, the license server availability, if it's online, if it's offline, and so on. Now, this can be shown using the OpenLM system, the core OpenLM system. Simply go to Widgets, host availability. Let's click apply, and we'll be able to see the availability of the different license servers. Wait, let me try it here. Widgets, host availability. And there you go. We got the different hosts, when they were up, when they were down, and when they were unknown. As for getting it to the reporting hub, well, that's a good idea. Send me an email about it. I'll open a feature request and maybe we'll get it done. Amit is asking about the options file. He's saying that we're currently reserving licenses via options file. So OpenLM can indeed read the options file, incorporate all the rule system inside, but it can also easily write to the options file. What do I mean? Let's go to options file management. And using this interface, you'll be able to just select groups, just add group, click add. And let's say I want to add a test group and I want it included, and I can do pretty much everything that's available in the options file. You can have host groups, IPs, you can have all the different policies. Now, this is configured in the report, in the options file itself. So it's deployed from here. The changes are deployed from here to the license server. So you change it, deploy it, and it will deploy it to the server remotely with all the changes that you have done. Now, the changes that you've done are not text-based. Again, they're just click here, select here, add that, add this, whatever you choose. Chris is asking, how do I get a report of the total hours users consumed licenses? Okay, so that's an easy one. We go to Start, Reports, License Activity. Now we can go here to Group By tab and select User. Now let's say that we want 3 months, so we go to the date range and we select, well, let's select 1 year. And that's it. It aggregates all the usage time, all the session durations per user. You can also get it as a table format and just export to Excel, just play around with it, to CSV, just play around with it with Excel, whatever you choose. Okay, I have, I'm sorry, I can't read your name. How to create a report where I get info of how much time some specific groups of users were above their limit of license. So if you want, you can either use the license usage report as we've seen, just show it by group. For example, I'll take the license usage and I can select a certain group to show it with. So I filter, I don't know, I hope this one has data in it, but you filter out the group or groups that you want, and then you see the license usage for that group. Now, if you would like to get like more granular information, you'd like to get more resolution and get more insights out of it, then you'll need the reporting hub itself because it allows you to play around with the data. Okay, one moment, guys. Eric is asking if we can see a queued license. Now, a queued license, that means a reserved license. If it means a reserved license, then yeah, it can be monitored. If it's a borrowed license, then yeah, no problem. Queued license, I'm not sure what that refers to. I believe that means that there's a queue to the license server, and when the license gets free, so there's a queue to who can get the license. So no, we're not, OpenLM doesn't monitor that. Is the options file management also possible for RLM? Is it vendor daemon independent? So the options file management is limited for FlexLM only for now. RLM, I know that they do have some kind of options file. We do monitor that, but I don't think that we can change it. We cannot access it, I believe. I know that it's only FlexLM based. Is it possible to name the various license features with more understandable names? Yeah, of course. You go to Start, Administration, then go to Product Packages. Now you see the product name here. Let me pull up a shorter list so it will be faster. So again, we go to Administration, then we go to Product Packages. Then you see the product name. Well, you can change it. You can just double click on it, click 2 or something. I don't know, just change it to whatever you'd like. Have it as is fixed, save it, and that's it. It will be next to feature names. What do I mean next to feature names? Let's go to license activity, for example, and select a feature. Now there's the feature name, the crazy feature name, but there's also a product name, an understandable human name. So that's pretty much it. You can change it to however you'd like. You'd get the product name. We call it product name next to the feature name. So this is how you can differentiate. Amit is also asking if the server is down, then we normally restart the server and my old logs will be saved automatically. So the old logs, they are managed by FlexLM or your own license manager, not managed by OpenLM. It's only monitored, only read by OpenLM. So if there's the server is down, the license manager is down, and you need to start it back up again. So the OpenLM broker, it doesn't care. It doesn't save the files. It has a backup in case anything happened, but mainly the license manager controls the files, not the broker. The broker simply reads. Now, what you can do, you can set an alert that will start up the license manager if it goes down. Like if the broker senses that it stopped, it will run a start command on that and try to start it once at least. Then you won't have those downtimes. You'll have an automated system trying to set it back up. Just to show you how to do that, you go to Admin, you go to Alerts. Now you can set up an alert. Let me show it. You can set up an alert of license server not responding and get an action of run a broker command on the license server. And you run a start command. This will allow you to start up a stopping server. Okay, so Mateus, you'll need the reporting hub to get that granular view of the data. You want to play around with it customly. So I suggest that we set up an evaluation of the reporting hub. You can get 30 days evaluation if you're a client, and check it out. See if you're able to get the data that you need. So I have an answer from one of the from Daniel, one of the attendees. So if the queued license that we're referring to is HPC, so it's not. So it's not OpenLM does not support the queuing system. Okay, I'm just going to jump over the queuing questions because we don't support queuing, but if you would like us to support, we do develop feature requests from our clients. This is how OpenLM became OpenLM. We put a lot of emphasis on our clients' needs. You should send an email to support@openlm.com, and we might be able to open a feature request if you're a client, and development might pick that up later down the road. Okay, I have Russ with a clever question. What value does it add to the reporting if I install the agent? Well, to the reporting, you'll be able to report on idle time. So you'll know out of the session of like 1 hour, how long it was actually being used. You'll be able to know who was idling, and you'll be able to notify them. You'll get a lot of insight out of that. Now, besides idling, you'll also get, of course, the host name availability, the workstation availability, and its IP. But the main thing about the agent reporting wise is the fact that you can get the idle time. Of course, that you can act on it. You can close the session due to the idle time and all that. But the best reporting module that the agent helps with is basically the idle time monitoring and reporting. We'll okay. Okay, so Frank is asking, is there a way to mark an alert as red? Meaning that he had an expired license that he is going to renew, but still did not renew, but he doesn't want to get notified each day on it. So currently you can set notify on a first occurrence only, but it might send it to you like each day on first occurrence. You should go here to the alerts themselves, go to the action, let's say send SMS, not send SMS, sorry, send email. Okay, and you can define to notify on first occurrence only, not on every occurrence. So it will notify you just once when it happens, and it will not notify you again. But I think that the system resets each day, so it might send you each day. I'm not sure, you should test this. If it does not send you like just once, then please send us an email to support@openlm.com, and we can add that as a feature request as well. So Daniel is asking if the OpenLM agent, if it must be installed on the host itself, or can it be just rolled out? Well, it can be rolled out. You can use either SCCM, the Windows SCCM rollout option, or group policy, the GPO rollout option, or you can just run a CMD script like a silent rollout. You get the server on a shared folder, the agent on a shared folder, and then you just run the script on all the workstations that take the file from the shared folder. So it depends how you want to go about it. We have a few ways for it. Oh, not rollout, installation down on network drive and run from it. The agent needs to be installed on the workstations at the end. So installing it on just one network, you mean a shared network drive like Citrix? Then no problem. We also have that working on Citrix. It takes a look at the user itself. Let's say you got 10 users using the same Citrix machine. So it will be able to differentiate between them, and you just need to install once. Oh, not Citrix. Let's simple network drive mapping. I see what you mean. I see what you mean. It needs to have a specific folder per workstation because it holds many different information on that specific to that workstation. So if all of them try to access the same agent, the same installation of agent, that's well, you're gonna have a bad time, I think. You should test it out. It's a good idea, but it should have each agent needs to be installed on each workstation. I hope that answered your question. Oh, wonderful. In any case, if you have any more questions, we can set up. Let's start fire. If you have any questions, you need any help, anything, just let me know. Let us know. We'll have a session on it. Can you filter based on the product name? Can you filter? So let's see. I believe that you do. So there we go. You have the license activity. Let's go down. You got product. Let's select by product. But by product and by feature is basically the same thing. If we take a look at the feature, we have the product inside. If we take a look at product, we have feature inside. So it pretty much brings up the same. Chris is saying that my license activity report grouped by shows 15 users, but the usage level shows 55. Why the difference? Well, can a user pull 3 licenses at the same time? Can some user maybe use 2 workstations at the same time? You'll need to check this out. Maybe you don't have the license file of the vendor configured on the broker. So if you don't have that, we're not able to discern if it's a package. Maybe there's a package there. Then it will be different. In any case, I suggest you send an email to support@openlm.com. We'll take a look at it. We'll take a close look at it. Amit is asking, he has observed of someone taking 2 licenses. Yeah, we have an alert for that. If we go to the, where was it? To the alerts extension here, and take a look at our different alerts, then we see that one of the alerts is duplicate license usage. Now, duplicate license usage, that can mean a lot of things. So you'll be able to define what do you mean by duplicate. So let me just pull that up quickly. Duplicate license usage. Let's click add. And here you can define what do you mean by duplicate. So it's the same license on a single workstation, related licenses on a single workstation. Maybe it's the same licenses on multiple workstation that constitutes as duplicate. So you can define that and get notified when the duplicate license condition is over is done. So what you can also do is send, if you click send an email right here, you can click notify also involved user. So you will get notified, which is cool, but the user will also get notified. And you can have like a customized text here, and you can say, I don't know, hey, please use just one instance of the app. Then he will get an email saying this when that happened, when this condition was infringed. In any case, if you're under evaluation of OpenLM, then you have everything that you've seen except the reporting hub. You have everything open to you. You simply need to configure it. So you got the options file management, you got the alerts, you got everything. You got everything there. You just need to activate. Again, if you need help, call up the support team. Okay, guys, so if no one has any more questions, I would love it if you send us an email. We'll just keep this conversation more personal and more in depth. Just send us an email, either me or another support engineer will take the ticket. We'll be happy to assist. Okay, so thanks, guys. Hope you learned something about OpenLM. Hope it was interesting and that I didn't bore you too much. So thanks, guys. Have a great day.